Every day we are marching closer and closer to the start of the 2025 NFL season as the Ravens offseason continues to go on. OTAs are all finished and wrapped up. Mandatory minicamp is starting tomorrow. Now, as for training camp, still to be announced. But after minicamp is over this Thursday, we got probably around a 35, 40-day dead period. We're just going to sit, twiddle our thumbs, and wait for Ravens football to be back. On today's show, I'm going to give you 4 of the most important position battles to keep your eye on during mandatory minicamp, okay? We're going to look at 4 positions, 2 players each that are going to be battling out during minicamp and probably into training camp as well. I need you guys to spread the word for me, though, before we get into the content. If you love what we're doing on this channel, share this video with some friends, family members, and any fellow flock members that you can find, whether that's social media, group text. I know you guys got group text with all your buddies who are Ravens fans as well. Go ahead, send this in there. Tell them to like, subscribe, and join us right here on the Ravens Rundown. Let's start with the first important position for these position battles. First, we're talking about today. These are no order, by the way. I'm not saying inside linebacker is the most important, but that is where we are starting. And I am so intrigued with this position battle, okay? It's what I've been looking at since the day 3 of the 2025 NFL draft, ever since Teddye Buchanan was drafted, because he's one of the 2 players that will be competing. It will be Trenton Simpson against linebacker out of Cal, one Teddye Buchanan, who is an absolute freak. We'll give you some evidence in just a little bit. And on the surface level, if you didn't pay attention much to the end of last season, you would think Simpson got 73 tackles last year. Simpson started 13 games in 2024. He's probably going to be the one that starts, right, Joey? Well, you got to dig a little bit deeper into his year last year, namely the way that it finished out. Week 15, 16, 17. Last 3 weeks of the regular season, he had 10 total snaps. Not 10 tackles, not 10 drives, 10 snaps. And then you look at the wild card and the divisional. So the 2 playoff games, the 2 winner-go-home games, the 2 biggest games for the Baltimore Ravens, he didn't have a snap in any of them. So that tells me something. They lost trust in him through the end of last season. And then you look at Teddye Buchanan and how he looked during Ravens OTAs. He looks like an absolute specimen. Now, I know this angle is a little bit weird, distorted. I honestly, this picture looks crazy. But he looks like he's made in a lab, okay? Now, with all that, my pick, I still think Trenton Simpson starts week 1. But I would be shocked if by the time week 10, week 11 rolls around, if Teddye Buchanan isn't getting the majority of the snaps in these games. Because I just think that he complements Roquan Smith a little bit better than Trenton Simpson does. Teddye Buchanan is wonderful in coverage. Everything that Roquan kind of struggles with, I think Teddye Buchanan does really, really well. Who starts? If you think it's Trenton Simpson, give me a TS in the comment section down below. But if you think it's Teddye Buchanan, go ahead, cast your vote by liking today's video. If you think the rookie ends up starting by week 1, do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button. Let's go to the second position. How about CB2 on this roster? We know the cornerback 1 is going to be Nate Wiggins, but who's going to be in that second spot? And I'm not talking nickelback, okay? I'm not talking Marlon Humphrey, because if you look at the depth chart right now, Marlon Humphrey will most likely be in the slot. I'm talking outside. Who's going to be that other outside cornerback lining up opposite from Nate Wiggins? As of right now in the competition, it's going to be either Chidobe Awuzie or it's going to be T.J.Tampa. Those are the 2 guys that are duking it out. Those are the 2 guys that are going back and forth pretty much this entire offseason long. You added Awuzie in March. You signed him to a 1-year, $1.25 million contract. He's 30 years old. He's dealt with a couple of injuries. But if he can stay healthy for the majority of a season, he can be a really, really great piece. That's a big if, though. Now, T.J.Tampa, I'm really, really intrigued by. He's 23. He's young. 130th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. And John Habraugh had a lot of really great things to say about him after OTAs. He went on saying, I've seen a lot of flashes. flashing some real good plays. Keep chasing the consistency with the technique. TJ's a young player in the sense that I don't even think sometimes he understands how good he is, how talented, how big he is. So I want him to play like a big corner and embrace that as far as technique. Now, even with all of that, my pick is that Chidobe starts week 1. I wouldn't be mad if it was T.J.Tampa. I just think they're going to go for a guy, at least in week 1, who has played a lot more football, right? Chidobe's been in this league around like 7 seasons. T.J.Tampa, because of injuries, didn't even play 7 games last year, okay? So I think they lean Awuzie, but a little bit like the linebacker position, I would not be surprised if Tampa impressed in the middle of the year and ended up having a little bit more snaps over the last couple of games. What's your confidence level in that cornerback room? Scale it for me 1 to 10 in the comment section down below. Do you feel good about what Baltimore has in that room right now? You let me know your answer. Coming up, we got 2 more positional battles to talk about. I got one on offense, another one on offense as well. Not going to give you too much. But before that, make sure that you guys head over to chatsports.com/Lamar Jersey and get yours today for only $80. This is a phenomenal deal. It's a deal you're not going to find anywhere else at any other time of the year than right now with our friends over at Fanatics. Father's Day was yesterday. Hope you guys had an awesome Father's Day. But if you forgot to give them a present, this is a wonderful opportunity. It was $100. Now it's down to $80. 20% off. Chatsports.com/Lamar Jersey is where you need to go. Get yours today and get there fast. That link's in the comments and description of today's video. And head there. Bet you won't. Let's talk tight ends now. I know you've been waiting for me to talk to this one. Ever since you saw the title of this video, you knew that this was a positional battle that was going to be discussed, because this one is going to be electric. I don't even have to pull up a graphic to tell you which 2 will be competing. We all know it's going to be Isaiah Likely against Mark Andrews. 2 guys who had 2 really good years last year. They combined for over 1,000 yards, combined for 17 touchdowns. Mark Andrews had the better season in every single statistical category you're looking at right now. But I think we saw a flash in game 1 of what Isaiah Likely could be. And it excites me, and it should excite you as well. And to add a little bit of fuel to the fire, additionally, they're both on contract years. So in my opinion, they're not only fighting for a spot on this roster, they're not only fighting for that tight end 1 spot on this roster, but they're fighting for a job next year and the year after that and the year after that, okay? And I think 2025 will be the passing of the torch. Baltimore has been really lucky to have a lot of really great tight ends throughout the years of this franchise, 30 years in total. Mark Andrews was one of them. I think Isaiah Likely is the next one of them. I've got all the confidence in the world in Isaiah Likely's skill set, his ability to catch the ball, his run after the catch, his frame, the way he's come up clutch in the playoffs, or the opposite of Mark, the way he hasn't messed up in the playoffs. Okay? And John Harbaugh sees it too. I want to see Isaiah Likely be an all-pro. That's what the head coach said. That would be my goal for him, and he's capable of it. So my pick for 2025, I think Isaiah Likely is tight end 1. Now, it's hard to name a starter for the tight end position, because when they come out for their first snap, there's a good chance they're going to be in 12 personnel, and they're both going to be on the field. But I think Likely ends up getting more receptions, more targets, more yards, and more touchdowns than Mark does in 2025. Who's tight end 1? You let me know in the comment section down below. Type their initials. If you think it's Likely, give me an IL, and if you think it's Mark Andrews, go ahead, type those MAs. Let's round this one out with the left guard battle. Probably the battle that has the least amount of pizzazz, but that's just probably because it's the offensive line. But this is still a battle, nonetheless. Andrew Vorhees and Ben Cleveland have been duking it out during OTAs. They will continue to do so in mandatory minicamp. They'll continue to do so in training camp. They'll continue to do so in the preseason all the way up until week 1. If you look at the offensive line right now, what I have is Andrew Vorhees starting at that left guard spot, okay? But I think that could change. Now, if it were up to Vorhees, it wouldn't. Jameson Hensley tweeted this out when he spoke to the media last week, saying, from my perspective, there's an open position up for grabs, so why not me? He's betting on himself. You think he could do it. But if you're asking that question, why not him, might I add in the memory of last season? He started the first 3 games. He got hurt. That's bad luck. That's not against him. That wasn't his fault. But then he didn't start another game. He got healthy after like 3 or 4 weeks, but they just felt that Patrick McCarry was better, okay? And a lot of people don't believe or didn't see this coming with Ben Cleveland because he wasn't really in the mix last year, but Ryan Mink states it's very different in 2025. He said Cleveland shouldn't be forgotten in the competition to be starting left guard. After being a presumed leader for the job last year, he didn't get many practice reps at the position. That has changed at the start of this year's OTAs as he looks to compete with Andrew Vorhees for a starting job. At the end of the day, I want the best guard to win the job. I don't necessarily have a preference out of the two of them, okay? I think probably Ben Cleveland would tickle my fancy a little bit more than Andrew Vorhees, and that's who I think is going to start. I just think the fact that Vorhees lost the job last year, didn't get it back, speaks a little bit, and the fact that they feel like they have to have Ben Cleveland in there as competition. Like, they didn't feel that way last year. They feel that way this year. And so because of that, I think he ends up starting week 1. But I also wouldn't be surprised if that changes hands a little bit over the course of the season. Make sure you got me on socials. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter at Joey Petersen 8 on both of those platforms. If you find me on Twitter, you'll find a little bit more Ravens coverage. If you find me on Instagram, not as much Ravens, more my wife, my dog, but hey, great for a follow nonetheless. And make sure you guys are following here by subscribing. It's free to do, it's easy to do, and it locks you in for daily coverage of your favorite team. Only Baltimore Ravens right here on the Ravens Rundown, so lock us in by subscribing.